Good afternoon. I'm inside taking care of a few chores, doing some trimming. I got to do a bunch of trimming here this morning, throw some leaves and stuff away. Um, just clean some buds and stuff up, and I thought I'd show a few things. This is not an African violet, but it's in the African violet family. This is an Alsobia San Miguel, but has a really pretty little bloom on it. It's just started blooming. These grow like a strawberry plant. They grow stolons. They'll put stolons out, grow another plant. It'll bloom, grow another plant, send off a runner. They'll grow like that. Again, I'm new to these too, so I've never grown these, but I thought I'd give one a try. They bloom very readily, obviously. I've only had this one for a few weeks, and it bloomed very quickly, but seems to be a cute little plant. Anyway, African violets, I know. I like blooms, what can I say? I get a lot of people asking, why do you grow African violets? Why do you grow African violets? I don't know. A bloom is a bloom is a bloom to me. I don't really care whether it's an orchid or it's an African violet or it's a dandelion for all I care. They're all beautiful in my eyes. Um, I don't know. It's still a challenge. These are as much of a challenge. Trust me, that little thing right there is a major challenge for somebody like me. But they are still a challenge, and they keep me busy, and they keep me occupied, and they entertain me, and that's all that matters. And my wife loves them, and my granddaughters love them to death. So that's why I grow violets. Anyway, on with it. This pretty little one right here is called Ramblin Lace. It's a trailer. It's just started blooming. It has a kind of a white bloom with a little bit of pink hue to it. You can't really see it. Horrible lighting, but I don't think I can shade it anywhere. But it's a pretty trailer. For a trailer, a nice trailer. Trailers can get unruly sometimes, but this one has a nice growth habit and is spreading out real nice. I like the foliage. This one right here, I was trimming. That's why I had all these here. This is one called Rainbow's Quiet Riot. It's trimming as well. Really pretty one. Has a darker bloom than what shows. Has what's called a fantasy. I think it's called a fantasy speck on the bloom. Again, another pretty one, I think. This little red one is called Jolly Mars. Really pretty one. My wife said she wanted a teacup, so it's in a teacup. That little bitty one that's blooming back here is called Itchy Britches. And actually the bloom is fading, but it's got more coming out from underneath. I would need to trim it really bad. But as little as it is, it's oversized. It needs to be trimmed. This gorgeous one right here, I love this one. It's just getting ready to start blooming too. This is one called Golden Eye. It's almost pink. It's a pinkish purple color. It's a beautiful variegated plant. It's in a teacup. Um, it's small, but not as small as like that. But it has gorgeous coloring on it, and it has a yellow bloom. So I'm really looking forward to this one blooming. That's one called Golden Eye. This big one back here is called Bold Party Girl. Has a thick quilted leaf. Really hairy, fuzzy, pebbly kind of texture. Giant bloom too. Look at the size of the blooms. They're huge blooms. They're like 3 inches across. I mean, they're big blooms. This one down here, which is one of my favorites, my wife loves this one, is called Winter Smiles. Another one with really thick textured, very fuzzy, pebbly, quilted leaves. Little serration around the edge, but has a beautiful, it's just starting to bloom, really just starting to open up and bloom really well now. It has a light pink bloom with kind of darker rose colored accents and a frilled edge to it. I mean, it's a pretty bloom, I'm sorry, but it's a pretty bloom. Alright. And these are twins. And these are both called Vampire Kiss. Another one, it's just a prolific bloomer. Has a super thick quilted foliage. This one shapes beautifully. Naturally puts itself into a nice rosette. Doesn't sucker, just grows bigger. These all need trimming really bad. But a beautiful plant. And it's a big plant. I mean, that's a large violet too. That's a big violet. Anyway, speaking of big violets, let me make some room here. We had a baby one, remember? We had one called Tiger. It was a baby violet. Let me make room for Tiger here. That's Tiger now. Still a baby, still a baby. And this is its first bloom. That's its first bloom. It's actually really purple color, but it looks really blue. And the foliage is very, very pink, but you can't hardly tell either. It's a striking plant. But look at the size of it. And that's a big violet. I mean, that's a big violet. By any standards, that's a huge violet. But that thing is just amazing. Just amazing. And this is a baby. I've only had this for a couple of months. It was a little tiny, like, you know, like this, in a little tiny little cup. Well, it was in like that kind of cup when it arrived. Anyway, I did a video on my African violet soil. I think I put it out before this, or if not, it's coming out right after this. I don't know. I'll hopefully get them in order. But there's a bacteria I use called mycos that I add to my soil, and that's kind of what does this. Mycos will jumpstart these plants, and it'll produce big plants for you. It's not a fertilizer or super fertilizer. What it does is it makes when you fertilize it, makes sure that those plants really get it, and they get a lot of it. And it gets it to them in a form that they can eat readily. It's like supercharging the soil, basically, is what it's doing. And since these are still in soil, it doesn't hurt. Gives them a good head start, and they respond very, very quick, as you can tell. As you can tell. So I guess if there is any secret to my African violet growing, other than fertilizing and flushing, and I use peat moss, vermiculite, perlite. You can tell in my other video that I'm put out about my soil mix. It's very, very simple. What I fertilize is very, very simple. 20, 20, 20 straight across, a little tiny bit. But I water all the time with a little bit of fertilizer. And then about every 3 or 4 times I'll rinse, flush. But other than that, it's that mycos, trust me. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Enjoy your plants. And thank you so much for all the comments and for watching.